Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. And today, guys, we are diving into XRP, specifically to talk about what has been going on most recently with the price action. As we get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here. Right, with this said, done and out of the way, let's dive down right into XRP and talk about what is going on most recently here with the price action. Right, so we're going to start things off, guys. We're not going to take a look at the weekly. We're just going to start with the daily, keep this nice and brief, as I am still in London, just recording from the hotel room. So what we're going to do is we're going to just talk about what's been going on most recently here on the daily. So we can see everything nice and peak up here back in April, right? And we started to pull back down in line with everything that Bitcoin was doing, pulling us down to a double tap at the bottom just down here, okay? So this basically was late June and late July, okay? So that was about 1 month between these two peaks, or kind of double tap on the bottom, right? This came in at 50.8 cent, okay? And then we started to see a good surge to the upside, finding resistance just up here, just shallow of the 618. Then we obviously push up, we hit the 618, we get rejected in line with what Bitcoin was doing. We push back up against our key area of $1.07. From here, we then pull back down once again, and actually we've started to find some support areas down here on this journey. And basically, you can see, as you can see here, there's a bit of a trend line that had formed. We then got a bounce from this area, surging to the upside. I think it was on the 22nd of September. And then recently we started to pull back down in line with some of the FUD that's going around with Bitcoin. Overall, there's some interesting things that are occurring on this daily chart, right? That we can sort of see there is a cup and handle pattern that could see this thing surge to the upside. So I'll go through that in a moment. And again, the price expectations of where we are likely to go with that scenario, in my opinion, for October, right? So if we do complete this pattern for the cup and handle, then we could be looking for some pretty interesting price discovery. So that's going to be pretty cool. And we can also see that the stochastic has been a little bit all over the place. Okay, it hasn't been very consistent. And you can see that obviously pulling it on the way down, we're bouncing between the oversold and overbought areas until we had this double tap at the bottom. This is when we then got a really good surge to the upside, going as the overbought area for this wave here. And then we started to see that we were overbought for quite some time, right? We were up here for a bit, and then we pulled back down. A natural correction was here, okay, and then Bitcoin's correction was unnatural, which pulled us all the way back down to the oversold area. We hung out around here for a while. We started to move back to the upside, but again, not really keeping it, not sustaining it, and again pulling back. So we are looking for that push to the upside, but I do think we should be expecting volatility on the smaller time frames, at least for the rest of September. And once we're into October, I think that's when we really start to move to the upside with this cup and handle pattern that's forming, okay? So on that note, let's actually go ahead and see where things are likely to go, in my opinion, for this cup and handle. Okay, so where do we think things are likely to go? It actually resonates really well with the previous high, okay? So normally for a cup and handle, what you normally tend to find is a good push to the 618 area, okay? So you have the cup, you have the handle form, and then basically the 1.618 is pretty much a good target area, okay? So you go to the cup, you form the handle, and then we shoot up to the 618, okay? And the 618 would take us up to this area here, which will put us at 196, okay? And that is in relation to the high of our top of our handle here on the right hand side of our cup, and of course the bottom of our cup. So when we start seeing that pattern form, obviously this is the expectation. This resonates really well with the previous top that we had just over here. So this would be a rejection point. Okay, so what we do is you get this surge up. This is where my anticipation would be for October, and then we would pull back, most likely finding the 786 as our support line. Okay, so what's what we're kind of looking for? We would want that cup, the handle, the surge to the upside, the back test on the 786, and then we go into price discovery, where we head up to the actual 618 based on the performance here and the lows of down here, right? So taking into consideration all of that, then we'll be looking at 286. But before we get to 286, we would be looking for a surge to the upside, small pullback here at the 196 mark, and then push on to $2.86 from there. So overall, there's a lot of potential here on the charts for XRP on the daily here, just knowing that this pattern is forming. But obviously we do have that volatility on a smaller time frame we've got to kind of get through first. So when we jump down into our hourly view, and what we can actually see going on here is basically us coming down into this kind of buy area here. We can find that we found good support down on 0.88. Okay, so we can see that we're wicking into this. We basically tapped on this yesterday, and we started to come back up into this higher bound, just below our 93-cent zone. Okay, so again, this is an area that we've been talking about for a while with XRP, and where we are looking, but we are looking to obviously now push on out. We are in the oversold area, so we should be looking to steadily move to the upside if the market allows. And what we mean by that is the sentiment in the space has to be aligned. Okay, so we can see the volumes are very, very flat at the moment, not actually doing too much, right? There was a lot of selling pressure, and a little bit of buying at that time as well. But basically, as we're pushing the price to the upside, the volumes were dropping. So the sentiment is not the best for XRP right now. And so we've got a fair amount of work to do here, as in we pushed the price down, the volumes went up. We tried to push the price up, the volumes went down. That is the wrong way round. We need to see if we can build the volumes as we now look to take our stochastic back to the overbought area. Okay, so we are looking to try to increase that volume a tad. But until we kind of get through September and Bitcoin starts to correct itself, I do not anticipate much progress to be made in September. So do expect volatility in this time frame. Now, the other thing that we have to be mindful of is whether or not our 0.88 cent area is actually going to hold that support that we've seen previously. Obviously, all the wicks that were coming down here, this downward trend is obviously now getting lower. We want to avoid that if possible. So we'll be looking to find support on 0.88 cent if we can kind of manage that. But if we are looking to push up, which I anticipate we should be, I reckon that we are probably going to be pushing up to about 97 cent and getting rejected from there. This will be another area that we were previously at. Alternatively, we could be at 95. So I reckon there's somewhere in that 95 to 97 cent area that we could basically find resistance as we push to the upside, and then we get rejected, potentially pulling back down to 88 cent. Okay, and that's my kind of anticipation with the next set of moves. Now, there is of course an upward trend forming here on this smaller time frame. You know how trends are not the best things to rely on in the world, but again, we can see that this is starting to form a bit of a trend here, and so again, we'll monitor that situation, see whether or not we're going to use this as a good bounce area for us to grow back to the upside. Guys, there isn't too much more I can kind of talk about for XRP, so I am going to leave it there. Hopefully you have found this brief technical analysis on XRP useful and informative. If you have, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new, why not subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.